You know that specific feeling of entropy?
Entropy? That's a heavy way to start a Tuesday.
No, stick with me here. Beat. Think about the physical world. You decide to clean your office, you buy the bins, you get a label maker, you feel this surge of control.
You feel incredibly efficient.
Exactly. But fast forward 2 weeks. The bins are overflowing. Receipts are on the floor. Beat. You can't find the one document you actually need.
The chaos always creeps back in. It's the second law of thermodynamics applied to desk drawers.
Always.
Yeah.
And I think that is precisely what's happening to us with our digital tools, specifically Google's Notebook LM.
Oh, I completely agree. It starts as this pristine second brain. You're excited, you upload a PDF, it feels like magic.
The AI summarizes it. You feel like an absolute genius.
But then you have 30 notebooks, no folders.
Right.
You're clicking back and forth just to save a single YouTube video. It goes from a high-performance vehicle to a cluttered junk drawer.
It really is tragic.
Yeah.
Because the engine underneath the AI itself is incredible. But the interface, it's missing some serious quality of life features.
It's like owning a Ferrari but having to hotwire it every time you want to go get groceries.
So that is our mission for this deep dive. We aren't talking about the AI model today. We are fixing the ignition. We're looking at a stack of 7 specific Chrome extensions that the community has built to patch these holes.
Not Google. The community, and these aren't just cosmetic tweaks. We're going to cover the whole workflow. Capturing data without friction. Organizing that messy dashboard. Managing content like a pro. And finally, getting your insights out of the browser.
And the best part,
You don't need to be a coder. These are simple plug-and-play tools.
let's start at the beginning of the pipeline, the moment of capture. The source material highlights a massive friction point here that I think everyone listening will recognize.
The copy-paste dance.
The dance. Walk us through it.
You know the drill. You're on YouTube. You find an incredible video, maybe a lecture on stoicism or a coding tutorial. You think to yourself that you need to analyze this. So you pause the video. You copy the URL. You open a new tab. You navigate to Notebook LM.
Just listening to you list these steps makes me tired.
You wait for it to load, you click Add Source, you paste, you click Insert. By the time you do that,
Your focus is completely shattered.
gone. You've switched contexts entirely. And if you're trying to do deep work, context switching is the absolute enemy. Jumping between different apps and losing your mental focus. It takes 20 minutes to get back into a flow state.
So the first tool on our list is a simple fix for that.
Yeah. It's called YouTube to Notebook LM. Very straightforward naming.
I like that. How does it change the dynamic?
It puts a button right where you need it. You know where the like and share buttons are under a video?
Sure.
It adds a new button right there, a little Notebook LM icon.
Okay.
So now you're watching a video, you think this is gold. You click that button, a pop-up asks which notebook you want it in, and boom, transcript saved.
You never leave YouTube.
You never open a new tab.
That is subtle. But let me ask you this. Does shaving off a few clicks actually matter for deep work?
It absolutely does. Every tab switch breaks your focus. It prevents context switching entirely so you stay fully immersed in the content.
Right. It prevents context switching to keep you immersed. Moving on to the next capture tool. What about text?
We have the sibling tool. It's called the web importer. Same exact concept. You're reading an article on quantum physics. You click an icon in your browser bar. It sends the page to your notebook.
Why is that better than just copying and pasting the text myself?
Because it grabs clean text.
Define clean in this context. The web is usually anything but clean.
Think about a modern news website. What is actually on the screen?
Pop-ups, cookie warnings, ads for socks, links to 10 celebrities who aged badly.
Exactly. If you just copy-paste that page, you're feeding all that junk to the AI. The AI gets confused. It might try to analyze the sock ad as part of the geopolitical analysis.
That makes sense.
The web importer strips all of that away. It ignores the ads. It ignores the sidebars. It just grabs the core body text. It creates a signal-to-noise ratio that actually favors the signal.
So it sanitizes the data before it even enters your second brain.
Exactly. The source material gives a great example of this capturing power. They tested the YouTube tool on a video about learning languages fast. The user clicks the button and keeps watching. Meanwhile, the AI pulls out 3 specific nuggets in the background.
What were the nuggets?
First, focus is non-negotiable. You can't say you don't have time. Second, persistence. It takes about 200 hours of focused study to actually level up.
200 hours. That's a sobering number.
It really is. And third, motivation. You need small rewards. But the crucial point is you captured that 200-hour fact without pausing the video. You collected the dot without stopping the process of connecting it to other dots.
Immersion is the goal.
Okay.
Okay, so we've captured the data, we've pulled it from the web without breaking our flow. Now we have the problem I mentioned in the intro, the messy room, the dashboard.
The endless list of boxes.
Right. Notebook LM natively doesn't have folders yet, which honestly seems wild for a Google product.
It's wild. You just have this endless scroll of projects. If you have a notebook for taxes sitting next to fantasy football, sitting next to quarterly reports,
Your brain has to work harder just to parse what you're looking at.
it's visual noise. It's low-grade anxiety.
Yeah.
So enter extension number 3, the bookshelf folder manager.
This sounds like it provides some visual relief.
It's strictly for your sanity. It adds a bright blue sidebar to the home screen,
Yeah.
and it introduces the concept of shelves.
Essentially folders.
Yes, but with a really nice UI. You can create a work shelf, a personal shelf, a research shelf. You just drag and drop your notebooks into them like stacking Lego blocks of data.
That sounds satisfying.
It is. But the feature that really sells it for me is that this sidebar persists inside the notebooks.
Oh, so it acts like a navigation rail.
Exactly. Usually if you want to switch topics, you have to back out to the home page, scroll, find the next one, click into it. With this, you can jump straight from holiday planning to client work in one click.
It turns the junk drawer into a proper filing cabinet.
And it leverages your spatial memory. You know your work stuff is always on the top left. You don't have to scan for it.
There was also a mention of a language switcher extension in this category. Who is that for?
Right. Extension 5. This is vital for accessibility. Notebook LM is great, but the interface is largely English-centric. This extension translates the shell of the app,
The shell.
the system buttons, add source, settings, chat. It translates those labels into your native language, like Vietnamese or Spanish.
But not the notes themselves.
Correct. It doesn't translate your content, it just translates the tools. It's about making the environment comfortable. It reduces that background cognitive load if English isn't your first language.
Let me ask you this. Is this purely aesthetic, or does it actually change how we think?
It is definitely not just looks, it reduces your mental background noise. A clean environment creates a much clearer mind.
Got it. It reduces cognitive load for a clearer mind.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about the hub. We're moving from simple organization to what the source describes as the ultimate hub.
Yeah. We need to talk about Cortex, extension number 4.
This one seems to be in a different weight class. It's described less as a patch and more as a professional manager.
It is. This is for the power user. And honestly, it solves a problem that I know you specifically have complained about.
I need to make a vulnerable admission here.
Oh, yeah.
I still wrestle with prompt drift myself. When the AI slowly forgets your original instructions over time.
Right. It wanders off topic.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But honestly, the bigger frustration is the snapshot issue. I treat Google Docs like living organisms. I change them constantly.
Mm-hmm.
So I upload a doc. I spend 3 days updating it with new research. Then I ask the AI a question.
And it gives you an answer based on Tuesday's version.
Because it only took a snapshot. The AI only reads the file exactly as it was uploaded. It drives me crazy.
But Cortex fixes this. It adds a live sync button. You click it, and it forces Notebook LM to reread the current version of your docs instantly.
That alone saves so much manual re-uploading. But there was something else in the Cortex description that stopped me in my tracks.
The personal podcast.
Yes. Walk us through this, because I want everyone listening to really visualize it.
Okay, so Notebook LM can generate audio summaries. Those audio overviews where 2 AI hosts discuss your notes. We know that. It's cool.
Very cool.
But usually you have to keep the browser open to listen to those summaries. Cortex pushes that audio to a private podcast feed instead.
Sussex silence. Whoa. Imagine having a personal radio station of your own thoughts.
Right. It creates an RSS feed, a web link that sends audio directly to podcast apps.
So I just paste that link into Spotify or Apple Podcasts.
Exactly. It shows up right next to this very deep dive.
So imagine this scenario. You spend your morning researching complex market trends. You dump 20 PDFs into Notebook LM. You generate the audio summary.
And then you close your laptop, you put in your earbuds, you leash up the dog, and you go for a walk.
While listening to a professionally produced conversation about your own research.
Exactly. It transforms wasted time into learning time automatically. It liberates the data from the screen entirely.
Now, Cortex isn't free, right?
It has a free tier, but the heavy-duty features like the podcast feed are in the Pro version. It's about $2.40 a month.
Which seems very reasonable for the ability to carry your research in your pocket. Let me ask you this. Does moving audio to a podcast feed fundamentally change your relationship with the data?
It absolutely does. It takes learning off the screen. It integrates studies seamlessly into your daily physical
I
routines.
love that. It integrates studies seamlessly into daily physical routines. Let's take a quick break. Sponsor. We've captured the data. We've organized it into shelves. We've synced it and turned it into a podcast. The final phase is output.
Because, as the source says, Notebook LM is great at creating content, but it's traditionally terrible at letting you take it out.
It's a walled garden. You have these brilliant conversations with the AI, but they are trapped in the chat box.
Enter extension 6, the Ultra Exporter.
A name that promises a lot.
And it delivers. It handles 3 main export types. First, slides. If you ask the app to make a presentation, it usually just shows you static images.
Which is useless in a corporate setting. If I can't edit the text, I can't present it.
Exactly. Ultra Exporter downloads them as an actual PowerPoint or Google Slides file. You can change the fonts. You can add your company logo. It turns a static image into a workable draft.
That is huge for anyone working in an office. The second feature was exporting chat history.
Yes.
Now let me pause here. Why would I need a PDF of my chat with an AI? Just give me the final answer.
I think this is the most underrated feature. Think about how you actually use the tool. You don't just ask one question. You spend an hour going back and forth. You refine an idea. You debate a point.
Sure, it's a true dialogue.
The conclusion is in the final answer, but the logic, how we actually got there, is in the conversation. Ultra Exporter lets you save that full dialogue as a PDF.
So let me ask you, why is the ability to export the chat history so critical here?
Because the final answer isn't the whole picture. It preserves the thought process and not just the final result.
Spot on. It preserves the thought process, not just the result. What about the third export type?
Markdown, a text format that keeps your headers and bolding intact. When you copy-paste into Notion or Obsidian, the formatting stays perfect. No retyping.
Finally, we have the last extension. Extension number 7. This one is aimed at visual polish. Magic Eraser.
This is for the perfectionists. When the app generates an image or a slide, it stamps a watermark on it, a little logo right in the corner.
Which basically screams that I used AI to make this.
Right. And depending on your boss, that might not be the vibe you want. Magic Eraser lets you upload the image, you brush over the logo, and it seamlessly fills it in.
The source also mentions the slide deck cleaner feature.
The batch tool, yes. If you have a 20-slide presentation, you don't want to edit them one by one, you upload the whole batch. It scrubs the logo from all of them at once.
Making a rough 5-second AI draft look like a final professional deliverable.
Exactly, in minutes.
We've covered a lot of ground here today, 7 distinct tools. And I can hear you listening and thinking, if you really need to install 7 extensions just to use a Notes app.
And the answer is a hard no. Please don't install all 7 at once. You will overwhelm yourself instantly.
The source material suggests a decision matrix. How does that break down?
It's about identifying your specific bottleneck. What is the thing that annoys you the most today?
Okay, so if my problem is that research takes too long and I have too many tabs open,
Then you just grab the YouTube to Notebook LM or the web importer, solve the capture problem, and ignore the rest.
if I open the app and feel anxiety because it's a mess of random files,
Bookshelf Manager. Get those folders set up and calm the visual chaos.
what if I'm trying to share this work with a client?
Ultra Exporter and Magic Eraser. Focus entirely on the output polish.
And for the person who wants to immerse themselves, who wants that dog walking experience we talked about.
Cortex. That is the ultimate deep dive tool.
It's fascinating to see the community stepping in like this. Google built the engine, but the users are building the steering wheel and the comfortable seats.
That's usually how it goes with these transformative tools. The developers build the core tech, but the community figures out how to actually live with it.
It proves people are using this seriously. They aren't just playing around. They're trying to build a second brain that truly functions.
Exactly.
And speaking of functioning brains, I want to leave you with a thought to mull over. We've talked about tools that remove friction, making it easier to add, easier to organize, easier to export. But is there a danger in making it too easy?
That is the big philosophical question.
If we can capture a 20-minute video in one click and listen to a summary while walking the dog, are we deeply engaging with the material, or are we just hoarding it?
Collecting dots versus connecting dots.
Exactly. These tools are incredibly powerful, but they're just the logistics. The learning still has to happen in your head. You cannot outsource understanding.
That's a great point. Efficiency is not the same as insight.
So here is our challenge to you for this week. Don't go download all 7. Pick one. Just one extension that solves your biggest headache today. Install it, use it for a few days, and see if it actually saves you those hours of boring work.
I highly recommend the YouTube one to start. It's a total game changer.
There you go. A solid recommendation. Let us know how it goes. We'll be back next time with another deep dive.
See you then.
Take care. Out Music.